Okay, so Haris, do you not think that, as we all know, the prophet flew on a winged horse, right?
He
He
did.
took a night journey, clearly, which will obviously, like, he must have touched lower Earth orbit at the very least if you're going to heaven, right? And knocking on the gates and meeting Moses and God. What do you think?
Well, he definitely did. And those who don't believe us, and those who think we're just just lying or bringing Islam into disrepute, I want to show you this video because I think it's important to show that this is not us taking the piss out of it. This is from a Muslim YouTube channel. And this is how they're brainwashing people. And this is why when you see that, oh, who are these people who listen and follow Muhammad Hijab? These are the people who listen and follow Muhammad Hijab. And, you can't blame them. These are the people that we're looking at. So there is this video that actually shows, and it actually shows, that's how he went to heaven on a winged donkey. Bigger than a donkey, smaller than a mule, this beautiful animal, and he went across. Hang on, let me show you. Yeah, I don't want to get a strike. This is what's going on. So look at the beauty, and the commentary is very beautiful in that as well. This beautiful animal. Look at this. This is Prophet Muhammad going. So I don't know if it's a lower orbit or a higher. Definitely not a lower
Well, you
orbit.
have to reach heaven, so you've got to like be out beyond the Earth's atmosphere for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, you don't know where the heaven is. So Muslims will go up and down and they'll twist and turn the verses. And according to Islam, this is the actual the model of the earth, the model that they have, which is copied from Hebrew
Yeah.
version of the concept of the universe. That there's earth, there are pillars, there's a firmament, and there's a water, and that's where above that there's God's throne. This is literally how Islam actually describes it. He is the
Okay.
one who has created everything that is on earth. He turned heaven and perfected into seven heavens. Sorry, there's one more. I'll show you the one way it says that he mounted on the throne. God's throne is out of above water, so which is this one. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, so I mean, okay, let's go with by the way, I'm not sure if this is true, but I think Sufism considers the moon to be one of the first heaven. I don't know. But that's what I heard back in the day when I
Maybe,
was
who
reading into
knows?
it. But let's just go even with that diagram that you've shown us, right? That's the Islamic explanation. The first batch of heavens, I'm guessing, well, you're still just about you're touching lower Earth orbit. And this guy has given us every aspect of his life, right? He's told us how to go toilet. He's told us like how to get married, how to get divorced, how to use our finances, how to pay tax, everything. But you'd think he'd come back with like a couple of space laws to help us out in the future when we're attempting just a minute version of his journey, because obviously we can't go to the heavens on a flying winged horse. That's for the prophet only. But you'd think he'd come back with some knowledge of space, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Surely he'd have
You
information to tell.
at least you would know that the earth is not flat.
Amen. Yes, you would.
It didn't say that
Well,
anywhere. There's
it
not a single
doesn't.
place where the Quran, with not a single place in the Quran where it says that the earth is round. Not a single verse. I don't buy your dahaha bullshit. Dahaha, look it up. Dahaha also means spread out, which is consistent with the same description of the earth in 9 of the places in the Quran, which is earth. Allah spread out the earth. I think Muhammad Khan taught that because there were two views existing at the point. Greeks had told us that the earth is round. The other common belief was the earth is flat. So Muhammad just went in between. He said, "No, Allah has spread out, so I'm just going to leave it to interpretation." Clever guy,
Yeah,
Muhammad.
no. He was probably one of the most successful con men in history, I'd say. But anyway, so because he didn't come back with any sufficient knowledge of his night journey through, up into space and into heaven, now his own followers are suffering because, you need to turn to Islam for every aspect of your life. And now we're venturing into the realm of space travel and space tourism. And Islamic countries want to get involved. So what are you going to do now if you are a Muslim and you're an astronaut and Muhammad's left you with no guidance? So I'm going to share my screen
Is there
and
such a thing? Okay. Yeah.
go
Oh,
on.
so is it about? Yeah. So what are you going to do in space? Because they don't even have a solution to this problem even on planet Earth. Look at this. Billions of Earth isn't flat. ergo praying in the direction of Mecca, you are actually aiming towards the emptiness of space. Because if you're in the United States, yeah, you're going towards space. Because Muhammad,
Yeah.
again, as I said, these people taught that Earth is flat. So therefore, you got to point towards Mecca. Even if they go by, hey, look, we're just going. We knew the Earth is round. It's the thought that counts. If it's the thought that counts, then why do you have to? If you're in America, why do you have to point towards the east? Why not the west? Because if the Earth is round, then obviously you'll go the other way as well. So why don't they do that? They don't. So obviously, this is another evidence that Islamic worldview is that the Earth is flat. So is that the kind of challenge that they've got in space as well? What are we going to do with our prayers? Because even if you're a Muslim astronaut, you're still going to be worried about praying 5 times.
Yeah. Well, even
Oh, and
before you
5
could
times.
think about praying.
And how does 5 times work?
That's what I'm saying. Muhammad really didn't step up here and give us enough guidelines. How are you meant to deal with this? And before you can even think about praying, don't you have to cleanse yourself? How are you going to do that in space as an astronaut?
Because in space, International Space Station, I think it orbits the Earth every 90 minutes or something, which is probably 16, 17 times a day.
Well,
Oh,
let's
no,
see.
sorry.
Let's
No.
see. Can I show you this guy's dilemma? Okay, because he's actually lived it.
He's
Right?
lived it. Okay. So
Yeah,
just quickly. So I'm just going to ask you a question,
okay.
and I think it might be answered in there. So if it goes, how many times it goes around International Space Station goes around the Earth? Is it, I think, 9 times or 10 times or something? So 9 times 5. Let's just say 9 times. 9 times 5 is what? 45 prayers. Damn it. Okay, let's just go.
And yeah, okay. So, well, basically, because this guy has the exact same problems that Horace is alluding to now. Okay, so obviously, because this guy is now going through the same dilemmas that you alluded to, obviously there needs to be some like religious guidelines set up, right? So, 150 members of the Malaysian like religious organizations put their smart heads together. 150 men,
Ooh.
yeah, got together and wrote an extremely comprehensive guideline for this man to follow. And honestly, what's in it is absolutely mind blowing. But before we get into their advice to him, because they've come out with these rules, let's obviously understand his dilemma in a bit more detail. So give me a sec, share my screen. Okay, can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So how a Muslim astronaut's dilemma, yeah, how to face Mecca from space, exactly what you were talking about, Aris. Sheikh Muzaffar Shakur of Malaysia, a crew member on the 16th mission for the ISS, he has 2 problems. Okay, the first is that Mecca keeps moving. Well, not really. It's Shakur who'll be moving.
Oh, right. Okay. Good point. Good point.
As
first.
Malaysia's
Okay.
first astronaut, he's scheduled to lift off October 10th in a Russian Soyuz spacecraft for a 9-day visit during the holy month of Ramadan to the International Space Station. He's a
This is old news,
devout
yeah? This is
Muslim.
old news, yeah?
Yeah,
It
this
must
is
be.
this is old news. Yeah, I think this was old news. This
Yeah,
is old news,
2007.
and this
Right.
document has, I think, recently come out because we were having a right laugh, like in the WhatsApp groups from the UK. Someone shared this, and
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, so he's a devout Muslim. He's obviously going during Ramadan. And he says for his daily prayers, he wants to face Mecca, specifically the Kaaba, the holiest place in Islam, because obviously that's what the
It
Quran
says,
says.
yeah.
And that's, yeah. Okay.
And
So
then,
this is where the trouble comes in, Horace. So this is where we needed those 150 minds to step in. From the ISS orbiting 220 miles above the surface of the Earth, the Qibla, so like the direction towards Mecca, changes from second to second. During some
ooh.
parts of the space station's orbit, the Qibla can move nearly 180 degrees during the course of a single prayer. What's a devout Muslim to do?
Yeah, because it takes 90 minutes to go around the Earth.
Uh-huh. So in
Yeah.
one prayer, you've moved a whole 180 degrees. So are you gonna move your scoot your body every single second? Anyway, he goes, as a Muslim, I do hope to do my responsibilities and I do hope to fast in space. Wow. So Malaysia's space agency, Angkasa, convened a conference. This is where it gets really juicy, guys, of 150 Islamic scientists and scholars to wrestle with these and other questions. The resulting document, which we are going to see, is beautifully called A Guideline of Performing Ibadah, Worship at the International Space Station. It was approved by Malaysia's National Fatwa Council, and according to the report, determining the Qibla should be based on what is possible for the astronaut, and it can be prioritized this way. So number one, the Kaaba. Number two, they can send a projection of the Kaaba onto the ISS, but then there's Islamic rulings about what's going to happen if the Kaaba should not be projected in line with the moon, or that messes it up as well. So even a projection is like, they're not really sure if that's going to be a like a halal prayer or whatever you want to call it, like a
Legitimate
that's
prayer.
agreed. Yeah, exactly. And the third is the Earth, and their fourth response was just wherever, mate.
Really? Let's have a look at that one.
Okay.
Let's have a look at that one. I think I have that document there.
Okay,
Are you
awesome.
going to show the document now?
Yeah, I can do.
Is that the bit you're talking about? It's like determining the direction of Qibla.
Yeah.
The Kaaba, the projection of Kaaba, the Earth, wherever.
Yeah.
Why not just put that as the first option and get rid of the others? You know why?
Hold on. You have to see this in this form. It's hilarious. Okay, so this is the document. It's actually just a PDF. Like, you guys can all go and see it. It's so funny. So they define ibadah, obviously, and they make all the definitions clear exactly.
No, we can't see that screen. We're seeing your actual Wired article. That's what we're seeing.
Okay. Sorry. Let me share. Oh, sorry. So basically, the objectives, right, is to get them to fulfill this. The al-maqasid al-siraya in any situation, and it's basically performing ibadah. So the entire concept of worshipping from space. So there's the intro. We can really
skip through it.
Just look at 2.3 as well. That's a big issue, on how to do the washing up.
Yeah, issues on how to do istinja, washing up, determining prayer time and the direction of Qibla, performing salat prayer, defining time of fasting, caring for the... So it's a double whammy, really, because it's in the Ramadan as well. Hey, hang on. It's not just a praying issue. Also, like, when am I going to... Should I go by the Norwegian time frame, which is sunrise to sunset, it can last 4 months, or should I go by the equator sunrise to sunset, which would obviously be a lot more reasonable? Caring for the deceased, and can you throw them? I think that might be easy.
Oh, you will see. They tell you exactly what to do in that situation.
Throw them out into space. Throw them out into space. Yeah,
yeah, that's what you want anyway, don't you?
No, I want that. I actually want that. That's how I want to go.
That's what I'm saying. So this is probably one of the first Islamic guidelines you would like. They offer that as a last
but you know why I guess that? I haven't read this document, but you know why I guess that? It's because that's what they do to people who die at sea. So they just throw them overboard. So they would have applied the same logic here. And others have
that's the Islamic ruling for someone that dies at sea?
Yeah. Just throw them overboard. Have broad concern within the Muslim
community. Go down. This is because it's quite lengthy.
Right. Cleaning up.
Okay. Go on.
Using pure, not sacred material. So, don't wipe your ass with sacred material, like, let's say, pages of the Quran, maybe. Is that what it means? Using a solid material, using a dry, non-slippery material. Non-slippery.
Number 3 shows up again.
Non-slippery material, like what? Like a polythene bag or something? What do they mean by that?
Yeah, maybe, because
using.
Yeah, go on.
Not less than 3 pieces. Wipes or tissues. Okay,
that's because we know the fascination with 3, right? You have to do 3 even here on Earth. Okay, but go down, Horace. Let's get to the fun stuff. Go down. Okay, go up. 3.2, I think it was.
Okay, 3.2. Cleansing oneself. Cleansing from minor impurity, ablution, wudu. Cleaning from minor impurity is by tayammum or dry ablution. Like, so they just grab something On Earth, they grab soil and they just rub it on their hands and face or whatever, which is disgusting. Obviously, you don't know how much bacteria is in that soil. But anyway, this could be done by striking both palms of hands on a clean surface, such as a wall or mirror of the ISS, even without dust. There you go. Dust.
So you're starting to do weird things already. Yeah, we're striking both palms of our hands on a clean, no dust. Get the dust particle off.
And tayammum explicitly, or dry ablution explicitly, involves dust, as I said earlier. So cleansing from major impurity, like pieces of feces from your backside. Yeah. Cleansing from major impurity is the same way as 3.3.
Yeah. Okay, the 3.3. Right. This is the funniest set of bullets I have ever come across. Right.
How do you, because you're going 16 times around Earth every 90 minutes, so the Kaaba, as he says, keeps moving. So what do you do with that? Okay, so the Kaaba, how do you, because Muslims are supposed to, as per the Quran, you're supposed to point towards that. And then
so 150 men came up with this is what you have to do now, because he's obviously not on Earth anymore, right? So let's see what these minds came up with.
Brilliant minds. And the Qibla direction is based on what is possible, prioritizing as below. The Kaaba, the projection of Kaaba. So what does that mean? Like you could just put up a photo of Kaaba and then just point face towards that?
Yeah, so you're basically
so why not just have that? Why not just have that?
That's what I was saying, that if, like, basically the Islamic rulings for that, whether that prayer will be permissible, because at certain points, as you're rotating, the Kaaba projection can be lined up with the moon or other objects, and that messes up whether the prayer is considered lawful or not. Like, that's the extent to what they say. So they actually ruled out the projection. That wasn't one of the that wasn't one of the options he wanted to go with, this astronaut.
Or okay, the projection of Kaaba, or just point towards the Earth, man.
And if all else fails,
where am I? Just freaking do it, right?
Just get on with it.
Don't bug me with this stupid problem. That's what the scholars at the end of that. Imagine you're on an exoplanet, 4 light years away. What are you going to do then? Because the Earth is moving, the whole solar system is moving. Like, I'm going to go in that direction. Imagine you're on Mars. How would they find out? It's just so stupid. But did they actually address this issue as well? Because this is a very important point. How many prayers am I going to pray? Because ISIS is going around the Earth every 90 minutes. So it's going to go around 16 times. So 16 ISS days equals one Earth day. So 16 times 5 is 80 prayers. Shouldn't it be performing 80
look at how they determine the time, because obviously the time that you're meant to pray is going to determine how many you pray, right? So
there you go. The daily 5 prayer times is defined in a 24-hour duration, equals to 1 Earth day. Oh, how convenient! Following the time zone at which port the astronaut is launched. In this case, Baku, Kazakhstan. So the question arises: did your all-knowing God not know about this? That one day this day will come. Did he not know that one day we're going to go to Mars, and what are you going to do there? This guy,
especially if he did it, if he's been to space and back. Hello.
You should have known. Yeah. When he was
brothers and sisters out here.
When he was going through space, he surely would have known that, okay, one day Barack might give a lift to some other dude as well. So in that case, if that happens, this is what you should do. How many prayers you should have, or how you're going to pray, what's the direction you should follow, because he might have actually told us, he might have given us a rough estimation on which way Allah's throne is. He could have actually given that away. Maybe that's why he didn't do it.
Yeah. Okay, right, Horace, go down to how you're meant to pray. Look at how you're supposed to pray on the ISS.
Okay, daily prayers could be performed. Sorry, which one?
Yeah, so basically, when I was reading it in detail, that you can say that, like, you don't have to pray in the normal way you would. You can pray as you would in times of jihad, which is a slightly different prayer, and it's like, I think it's shorter as well. So look at
in case you get in case you get shot by an arrow in your ass when your ass is up in the air. So your head's down, ass up. That's how they pray. Anyway, sorry, go on.
So basically, this is how you pray. If upright standing is not possible, then any standing posture. sitting,
standing.
any standing, wherever. Just
which is something the scholars would not have known. They would have like, yeah, why can't you just pray up in ISS? And no, sir, because in space, there's no gravity, so you're just
gravity
floating around.
restriction. Yeah. And so they had to account for that. Imagine they've got to the point where they're trying to be like, okay, well, anywhere then. we give up trying to defeat gravity.
Imagine praying like that. Like, what are you gonna do there? It's just, your brain is just floating around. What about your hair? Aren't you supposed to putting a skull cap? Then you're gonna put a. Look at this. How are you gonna do evolution with that? They know. So they've been told about this, which scholars would not have known at all. But anyway.
True. So yeah. So what was it? Was standing. However, I can also.
Yeah, I got this. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so then bowing is by bringing down the chin closer to the knees. So you're like trying to fight against that gravity to like just, you're floating around. You're trying to get into like that, what's that stretch position called? Like almost that baby posture that you do in yoga. Okay. Or you can lie down on the right side with your body facing the direction of the Qibla, which, hallelujah, if you figured it out. Lying flat, so you're also just rocking about, floating in the space station, right?
Banging your body against the walls of this ISS.
Yeah. And this one I was mesmerized. Just using the eyelid as an indicator of the changing of postures in the prayer. I could read the whole prayer with my eyes. Literally like 1, 2, I'm up again. 1, 2. Close them for sajda.
Making up everything as they go along. Making up everything as they go along. But just say, hey, look, you know what? There's a hadith as well. Like if you're mid travel, then you can actually excuse the prayer. Yeah, isn't that a ruling as well? I've heard of it,
but I can't. If you're in the middle of suffer or something, you're fasting as well. I think you get a couple of days off. Yeah, if you're traveling.
You can be excused, but
it's extenuating the circumstance. Yeah.
But I think in this case he was gone for like 100 days, 90 days or something. So maybe it's like that's a lot of qaza prayers because then you have to come back and do them.
Yeah, can you imagine?
You have to make up for all the missed.
I would just choose this eye option. It's really the chillest. If that was like, imagine if that was the normal way of praying for normal Muslims, like during the day. 5 wouldn't seem so bad. It's just a couple of minutes of blinking differently. But yeah, it was fetal position, music guy. Thank you for saying that in the comments. That's how I imagine this guy floating around, like trying to get into like the position of sajda.
Banging against the walls of ISIS.
Yeah. And then it just doubles up as like double ablution because he's smacked against his hand against a surface probably. But okay, yeah. So then using the eyelid, look at the last one, Horace. Just imagining the sequence.
Just imagine it, man. Just whatever. Just do whatever.
Yeah. Pray towards whatever. Do whatever. If you can't even do any of these things, you can't blink your eyelids. Just imagine you've prayed, mate.
Okay, now fasting, that's interesting. So fasting can be performed at the ISS or Qadar. Qadar that's the compensate one I was talking about. On the Earth in the month of Ramadan. The time of fasting according to the time zone and the location in which the astronauts live. Well, why? Just tell us. Give us some logical explanation. Why? Did Muhammad do that from the point when he got up? Actually, no. Prayer was not even obligatory at that point. So anyway, that's just making crap up as they go along. Okay, caring of the deceased. The deceased need to be brought back to Earth for normal. Ooh, he needs to be brought back. Oh, they're going against the actual normal process. In the case of former, it's not possible. The deceased should be buried in space with a simple.
How are you buried though? How do they want them to be
they're called buried.
In space? They mean just blast them out.
They're just prone.
Yeah.
Thrown out, toss them out. That's the way for me to go. That's what I want to do. That's how I want to go. Like just point me towards in the direction of Alpha Centauri and just give me a good push. I say, go, Harry, go float in space.
I think that's really poetic. I think that's a nice way to go.
That's a pretty nice way to go. Like, why would you want to be buried? Like, or why would you want to be, incinerated? What's the point of that? Not that it matters because you're dead anyway. But the nice way is like, just go.
Yeah.
Just go, mate. I'm gonna write an email.
And it's like we are just bits of stardust anyway. So to go back and be blasted amongst that just seems like proper full circle. It's nice.
I'm gonna go I'm going to send an email to Elon Musk, and I'm going to say, look, can I just get on board one of SpaceX rockets, and like I'll save.
Well, hopefully by the
for-
time you die, it will be very commonplace, like, and it shouldn't
It's
be an
very
issue.
possible.
We could probably just go online and be like, oh, book in Horace's body to be zapped
50,000.
and thrown out
Yeah,
of a space
imagine.
capsule, or
Imagine $50,000 space ticket. There you go. Boom, gone. That's
gone.
very possible. Anyway,
We missed one point in that document. Yeah, I was just closing it, and imagine the last one of the last bullets is talking about like Musafir traveling, and the first point goes, according to Islam, traveling to space is encouraged. And the first thing I thought,
that one, Musafir.
look at the first point. It's like, yeah, because we did it 1400 years ago.
Oh my God.
We traveled to space.
This is the funniest. So they're talking about this one. Is he talking about this reference? We did it 1400 years ago. Here it is.
We did it first.
Here it is. This is Prophet Muhammad did it 1400 years ago.
Screw the space race, guys. We were there 1400 years ago. What space race? These guys got it from the Quran. They found out the workings of the Barak. That's what the Americans did.
Hey, I think we have made fun of that previously as well. It's actually a tie between Hindus. Actually, no, not a tie. Hindus definitely win hands down. Hinduism a lot older. Hindus used to travel. They even invented spaceships and all that 3,000 years ago. So yeah, that's
the Vimanas. Where are they?
We did it 1400 years ago. Okay. To help me produce more